Illegal defense called against the Bulls. Just a warning, the first. Davis and Paxson come in. Vincent and let's see who else is going out.
That looked like a marginal call for an illegal defense.
I didn't see it at all.
Pippen was the guy that was down in the lane, past that imaginary line that goes down the lane, and his man had cut through, and boy, I don't know how you would have gotten out of that one. He seemed to have been right with his man.
Gamble. Good look for Parish. He got two. For the Chief. It's taken the Chicago Bulls nearly a half to match the Celtics total of the first quarter. Davis hits outside, and Celtics had 38 in the fourth quarter. The Bulls have 40 for the game. Inside, it was Davis who came from the weak side to slap it away from McHale. Paxson, Davis baseline. Pippen hits the jumper. Pippen's got 14.
That's a nice soft shot that if it's not through clean, it slops around.
Celtics taking the shot clock down. They double Reggie. Inside McHale. Slapped away, no call. Picked off by Cartwright. 1 second left. Pippen won't get it off in time, and the Boston lead will be 21 after a half. Score at halftime, Celtics 63, Bulls 42.
Sure, you're...
It's March, and your Jeep Eagle...
The old days, 63-42. The halftime scores, the Celtics have just run away and hid from the Chicago Bulls pretty much in this first half. Defense keying the offense for Boston throughout the half. Brian Shaw, an exceptionally strong start to this game, had 3 steals in about the first 6 minutes, and he really set the tempo for the way the Celtics played the entire half. Reggie Lewis had 17, Robert Parish chipped in with 13, and Kevin McHale had 11. Scottie Pippen, the only one on the Chicago Bulls who has seemed to adjust his game to the lack of Michael Jordan. Everyone else looking pretty confused out there, and the Bulls have turned this over about 13 or 14 times in the first half, thus the Celtics up by 21. We'll be back to take a look around the NBA right after these words. Again, Boston by 21 at halftime.
Sports Channel receive a gift certificate from Cartwright.
And welcome back once again to halftime, everyone. Mike Gorman along with Tom Heinsohn. Time for us to take a look around the NBA. And tonight we want to talk a little bit about the battle for the final playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. A quick look at the Eastern Conference standings, and you can see that the Philadelphia 76ers probably look to be in the best of shape, obviously. Then the Celtics, Washington, and New Jersey. And I guess the question, Tom, for Celtic fans is really, let's take them one at a time. Let's start at the bottom, New Jersey. Do they have any hope? Do you think that team can put together a run?
They've been beleaguered with injuries, too, and trying to find out what they can do. That loss down in New Jersey the other night by the Celtics was a big one. That would have put them really at a distance as far as the Nets were concerned.
How about Washington? They're getting some great efforts out of Bernard King of late. Saw a quote the other day from Wes Unseld, who said he hasn't had a team hustle as much as this one has over the last month or two. Again, are they capable, do you think, of making a good run?
I think they're capable of really putting their foot on the gas pedal right now and making the Celtics accelerate their pace and get their game together. I think right now the key to whether the Celtics make the playoffs is really this week's practice. How much they accomplished during this week with the 2 young new players in Joe Klein and Ed Pinckney. How well they will be incorporated into the lineup. They showed big promise in the last games that we did, so that if they got a good dose of what the Celtics are all about this past week, I think going to be tough to catch Boston.
I saw a quote from Kevin McHale after the game Saturday night, and he said he was really surprised because he had thought that they had got something together again, and then suddenly it was gone. How difficult a task at this point of the year to, quote, get something together again?
Well, I think, again, it's just incorporating those people into the lineup, and maybe some of the other guys are a little bit complacent, figuring that Klein and Pinckney were really going to be the total answer, and it isn't. I think they're just add-on players, and that Kevin and all the rest of them really have to get the job done.
Okay, we will be down in Hartford, Connecticut next Monday night. Tom and I will. The New Jersey Nets will be the opposition, one of the teams the Celtics need to keep pushing back down in the standings. Second half is coming up here from the Garden. Celtics and Bulls when we get back. 21. A report from down in Washington shows that the Bulls are up by about 15 on the Atlanta Hawks, so it's just as well the Celtics are cruising along here. But this is as quick as I've seen the Celtics, especially defensively, Tom, in a while.
Well, I think they were ready to do an awful lot of things tonight. They didn't come out exactly ready to tool up and down the court, but they got it going. And I think defensively they really showed an awful lot more than the Bulls did tonight. The Bulls' defense tonight is like, wow.
Well, without Michael Jordan, who leads the club in steals, leads the league in steals, they miss something. They miss an awful lot, it would appear. Let's look at some highlights from that first half. And again, Scottie Pippen about the only guy who's been doing much for the Bulls, and everybody's been contributing for the Celtics.
There's a good look inside to the low post, and as McHale gets it back from Pippen, who tries to save it, and then quickly McHale right outside, and in comes Reggie. Nice little jumper. And when they weren't getting layups, they were getting good plays like that.
And they were forcing the Bulls to turn the ball over, too.
Yeah, and you're going to see right here, as Klein comes out to stop, they get in there, and Reggie makes a great strip of Bill Cartwright, and up they go. Now, you watch how fast they look up the court. There's Klein way ahead of the ball, forcing Cartwright to run, and the whole defense caves in, and there's a little trailer play for Brian Shaw. Wide open 18-foot jumper.
And again, another defensive play, this time by DJ, leads to a dunk.
Well, forwards should never try and do this against DJ. Just too good. The ball sets up there too high. DJ looking for help coming up, attacking the defense. And there comes Brian Shaw, draws the lone defender, and there's Reggie for the cram.
Lewis with a big first half. We'll take a look at the numbers from the first half. Boston just shooting the ball exceptionally well, 66%. But again, that was keyed by the defense, you would think.
I think so, and they got some good shots down low, too. The rotation of the Bulls' defense, not nearly good enough.
17 for Reggie Lewis, 13 for Robert Parish, 11 for McHale, and then on down the line, Ed Pinckney, a nice effort off the bench. And Scottie Pippen with 14, the only one doing much of anything for the Bulls. 63-42 the halftime. Second half's coming up. Along with Tom Heinsohn, and a quick reminder, this weekend, the Boston Garden will be taken over with the excitement of college hockey. And Sports Channel will be right here to bring it to you. It's the ECAC Hockey Championships. On Friday at 5 p.m., St. Lawrence takes on Cornell, followed by Vermont against the country's #1 ranked team, Harvard. My dad will be pleased. Then on Saturday, we'll bring you the consolation game at 5:30, followed by the championship live at 8:30. It's the ECAC Hockey Championships right here on Sports Channel.
Why will your dad be happy?
Went to Harvard.
Oh, okay.
Class of 32. Class of 32.
What happened to you?
I didn't go. He did, though. All right, Sam Vincent is out there again with Davis, Pippen, Grant, and Cartwright. Celtics counter with Shaw, Lewis, DJ, Parish, and McHale. Man, boy, the Bulls just didn't get much out of the locker room halftime talk. If that's any indication of how this third quarter is going to play.
They tried to go down to the low post, but boy, and Cartwright was open, but very poor pass by Davis.
DJ right back into Kevin. Just bulls his way through a triple team.
Pippen going to be there, but never did be there.
13 for Kevin.
Very, very slow reacting defense for the Bulls.
Davis gets 2.
Well, that's what Pippen is capable of. He can take it to the hoop, and boy, he reads the defenses nicely for a second-year player, and got the good passes, soft passes to connect for guys going to the hoop.
Doug Collins should just let Scottie Pippen on the bus and nobody else on the performance here tonight. Make the other guys walk back. The foul on Brian Shaw, I think, off the ball. No, McHale. That's number 3.
McHale was saying, the guy's holding my pants.
Pippen comes around a screen, little up fake. Runner, tough shot, rebound McHale, slapped out of bounds by Pippen.
Of course, the secret to an up-tempo game is right here. Brian Shaw trying to push it up hard, continue to put the pressure on the defense. Don't relax in the second half. If you're going to up-tempo for the full 48.
DJ looking. Parish trying to come to the ball. 2 on the shot clock. Yeah! 15 for Parish. Took a while to get down, but it went down.
On the second roll around, the clock went off, the 24-second clock. So they had taken it way down.
Grant comes outside with the pick. Gets it back from Vincent. Grant baseline for 2. 5 points.
That's a guy that should be included perhaps in the offense a little bit more than he has been. Horace Grant.
Kevin again in a lot of traffic, draws a foul this time.
You know, when do you double? A lot of that has to do with coaching. Sometimes they say don't double him until he puts the ball on the floor, double him on the catch, and they try to confuse the low post man. Kevin McHale has seen all those various nuances of double team defense. And Pippen that time waited until he put it on the floor and made the fake and then went after him, and it's much too late. You got to go down and get toe-to-toe, elbow-to-elbow with the other defender to cut Kevin off from the hoop, because he will slice through double team.
15 now for McHale.
Only had 4 shots in the first half, too.
Yeah. 5 of 5 for the game. Sam Vincent, who has been very quiet, John. Pippen outside. Cartwright, good up fake. A little closer, nice move.
Good move by Cartwright, and that loss of weight has increased his quickness.
He's got 10. Second ball in double figures with Pippen. Parish watches Reggie go by, turns on Cartwright. Lewis will fire. Rebound Davis. Davis and Pippen are the 2 who have really come to play for Chicago tonight. Vincent a little pull-up. Harris, strong board right over the top of Cartwright. 3-on-3 break. Robert trying to spin. Cartwright cuts him off. Takes it. Hits it anyway.
Cartwright with both hands down, maintaining some pressure on Parish around the waistline. Never did bother Robert whatsoever.
Dennis Johnson will be called for the foul. First on DJ.
Well, you see what this Chicago Bull team is capable of without Michael Jordan. Not an awful lot. They have not brought other people into the offense as effectively as you would have thought that they would have. I kept saying we want to take some of the burden off Michael Jordan's shoulders. Believe me, there's some good offensive people out on the court for the Bulls.
Davis picks up his second foul. Second on the team with 8 minutes to go. Doug Collins still trying to get something going here for his club, down 21. DJ will take it if they give it to him. Rebound Vincent. Sam the quick push up the middle. Quick hands behind. Brian Shaw slapped it away.
Oh, good look by DJ to get it up there.
Pippen trying to feed it through. It's slapped out of bounds by Pippen. It'll be Boston ball. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Jimmy Rodgers has to be very happy with what he's seen so far tonight. Practice helps, huh?
Well, when you're on the road as long as the Celtics have been on the road, boy, you get precious little time to practice.
Robert all alone. short with it, gets it back. Nice fake, finger roll, goes down.
Pippen, I think, kind of knocked that in.
He's going to get himself an offensive rebound there. Can't find Cartwright as Parish was fronting him. Steal by Reggie Lewis. Reggie's got an angle on Vincent, and Sam commits the foul. Reggie will go to the line. Second foul on Vincent.
Now you watch now as the swing of the ball, Reggie Lewis had not gotten into the team defense, was right on his man, and then Sam Vincent trying to smother Reggie, doesn't work, ends up with the must foul.
Reggie betters his average with 7:05 to go in the third. Big night against the Bulls when Michael Jordan was on the floor. That was a great head-to-head battle that night. 24-point Celtic lead. It was 19 after 1, and the Celtics have pretty much toyed with the Bulls ever since. Cartwright's got some room. That's the third dunk by Bill Cartwright tonight. That's 3 more than you usually see in a month.
On the swing of the ball, Robert Parish was just a half step late in following it. That's how they got it into Cartwright.
Kevin takes a fall away. Kevin just can't miss here. 17 on a minimum amount of shots.
6 shots.
6 for 6 from the floor. 5 for 5 from the line. Celtics called timeout. 6:22 to go in third. Yes,
That's getting a lot out of 6 shots.
it sure is. 76-52.
For the pride, for the dream.
Dick Light just handed me a note that said that Michael Jordan scores 41% of Chicago's points against the Celtics in regular games. If you figure that out, we'd have a pretty good game here if Michael were here. However, he's not, and we haven't.
You know, one of the problems when you got a superstar is incorporating other people into the offense, and it's certainly apparent tonight that nobody feels comfortable in assuming any part of the offense other than Pippen. Cartwright is really trying to do it, but they don't execute real well in getting the ball to Cartwright, except for about 2 or 3 times in the second half. And I would say that Sam Vincent has not played his normal fast-breaking style.
DJ flashes through for 2.
And the biggest problem of all is, I would think, is that rotating defense. It is so slow, boy. Somebody threw sand in the gear.
Pippen comes around. Misses outside. Another rebound for the Chief. Quickly to Shaw, and Brian has been pushing it up hard every time. That's a good reach in by Vincent. A jump ball is called. Sam wants to travel, which he may have a pretty good case for. They're going to get a jump ball.
I don't know why it was a jump ball.
Joe Klein comes in. Robert Parish goes to the bench with 19 points and another double-figure rebound now. Conceivably, Chief might not be back here.
And the word should be for Joe Klein to really run like heck.
Pippen was out of bounds. It'll be Boston ball.
Put some rubber on Bill Cartwright.
Shaw backs his way in a bit on Vincent. Looking for McHale.
Oh, that's a double team, and didn't have the ball. That was an illegal defense that
sure
time.
Was. Then they both ran away from him.
Yep.
When he got the ball. They really ought to think. Vincent tells Davis to go through, then goes back to Grant. Grant a couple of fakes, turn around, no. Rebound Klein, the strong one. Cleared out some space there. Shaw over to Reggie. Reggie the pull-up. Cartwright, bullet pass, good catch by Grant. And a foul on Brian Shaw. First on Brian, just the second on the team with 4:52 to go in the third.
Long pass, and really a great catch that time by Grant. And Brian had to really hustle up there to contest it whatsoever. Let's see what kind of foul shooter Grant is. Not bad.
Not bad. 8 points for old Horace. Rodgers in. Davis out. You see the entire Celtic bench for all of this fourth quarter. Jimmy is letting the regulars play an extended period of time here in the third. Reggie's pull-up is long. Rebound Cartwright.
And the trapping defense forced the Celtics into a shot perhaps they didn't want. Against those trapping defenses, you've got to go for some layups. Get it into the middle and look weak side.
Sam Vincent. First bucket of the night. You're the point guard, and Michael Jordan's not playing. I don't think you've got to score before there's 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Klein is fouled on the way through. Joe whacked on the right thumb there. Grant picking up his third foul. Well, Joe Klein steps to the line. Tom, I wanted to ask you earlier, and obviously Jimmy's had to do a lot this year without Larry Bird, but when you on occasion got to a game and found out, say, that a Rivas and a Paxson weren't going to be able to play, did you feel more challenged as a coach? Like, how am I going to shuffle lineups now? Where am I going to make up for this?
I ran for the medicine cabinet and said,
got the Maylocks out?
This is Excedrin headache number 42, you know. You try and work out rotations. One of the real problems for Jimmy has been the fact that some of the rotations that he tried to incorporate into this up-tempo game, and you've got to use a lot of people if you're going to run an up-tempo ball game. Did not work during the season, and now they've given up Danny Ainge. And Jim Paxson is a very important player in their scheme of things because he is a bona fide outside shooter and really points off the bench.
Reggie, a little daylight. Good out fade.
Took it on one side and brought it back after the fake. Beautiful move.
Rodgers.
That's his shot. He is a real good outside shooter. Tough defensive player, too.
Looks good shooting, too, doesn't he?
Yep. Here's the trapping defense. Oh, there was a man open. They just didn't wait long enough.
Underneath. Klein, good catch.
As the layup. Look weak side. Everybody rotates. There's usually 2-on-1 on the weak side of the court. Pick out the right man, you get a layup. Good hard work that time by Joe Klein to make Cartwright commit that offensive foul.
Indeed, the third on Cartwright, 2:57 to go in the third. Celtics by a bunch.
You'll not only be entered into a drawing for free Celtics tickets, but you could also win the grand prize, an all-expense-paid trip for two to a Celtics away playoff game. Imagine that, travelling to another NBA city to see the best ball players the world has to offer. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. Simply stop by any participating Texaco station throughout New England and pick up your official Celtics 6-star entry ballot. Fill it out with your vote for the Celtic reserve you feel has contributed the most to the team this season. Then simply mail your ballot to Sports Channel for your chance at fame and fortune. So, vote today, because Sports Channel and Texaco want to make you a star.
TJ, again.
The Boston Celtics host Atlantic Division rivals, the New Jersey Nets, on Monday night. Join Sports Channel for all the action from the Hartford Civic Center, beginning with a pregame show at 7:15.
24-point Celtic lead, 2:57 to go here in the third. Mike Gorman along with Tom Heinsohn. And Celtic fans, now you can sign with the Celtics. For the first time, you can get your own official Boston Celtics MasterCard. For an application, just pick up your phone and call 1-800-GO-CELTS. That's 1-800-GO-CELTS, and soon you'll be able to sign with the Celtics. Eddie Pinckney's come back in along with Joe Klein as the Celtic front court has just dominated this game. The Bulls looking to trap now. Will Perdue is in. Klein won't go loose on the floor. Hodges has got it. Pippen follows his own shot. There's some adventures on the offensive end here. And then Hodges hits a three.
Boy, he had to really go up and pull that one down.
He sure did. Reggie's trapped, finds Pinckney. Again, the double on Reg. Bryan will take it. Back rims to pull up. Klein, an offensive board. Back in for two.
Now, Will Perdue never came close to jumping out of his sneakers on that one.
Inside to Perdue. Turns for a ball away. It's short. Rebound Shaw. Perdue not quick a foot as Grandison gets two.
Good look by Shaw. And Grandison really turned it on the opposite side of the court. And nobody with a red uniform even knew he was steaming up the floor.
25-point Boston lead with 1:10 to go in the third, and this one has never been close.
I know Michael is a big part of their offense, but this team's defense is atrocious.
Great strip by Shaw, his 5th steal of the night. Pinckney, and the foul will be on Pippen.
Coming to the middle, and there's Brian Shaw picking it off, and look at Klein just get into that sprinter stance and head up the court. And so did Ed Pinckney.
Washington leading Atlanta 72-63 late in the third quarter, so the Bulls doing what they need to do tonight. The Bullets, excuse me, these two teams. Thank you. Jump in any time I do stuff like that, okay? Pinckney at the line. Jack Haley making his first appearance of the night. Jack doesn't make many appearances. Paxson finds Haley. Missed the layup. Perdue the rebound. Swallowed up by Klein. Celtics appear to want it more here, Tom, you know.
And spit out by Klein.
Reggie looks inside. Klein blocked by Perdue. Picked off by Lewis. Finds Grandison. Got the bucket and a foul on Will Perdue.
Well, as we're down, Doug Collins is saying we might as well look at some of these guys that are on the bench. Klein just got great position on Perdue. Perdue comes up with it. There's the takeaway by Reggie. And he's looking for Grandison all the way.
Haley takes off the miss. Just the 24th game played in this year by Will Perdue, who was the #1 pick of Chicago last year. Dick Life hands me a note that says Will Perdue actually is one of the few guys who played more games in college than he does in the pros. Outside foul, Dennis Johnson. Second on DJ as Kevin Gamble comes back in for Boston. 6 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Celtics by 29.
Kevin Gamble is attacking the Celtics lineup, replacing Reggie Lewis.
Haley should look at the clock, gets it off, it's short, and the Celtics keep extending the lead. It was 19 after 1, 21 at the half. It's now 29, 92-63.
What's that? He's got our flashlight.
It's a great way to reward yourself after the game. Win or lose is with the clean, crisp taste of a Beechwood-aged Budweiser. This Bud is for you. And the Celtics playing very well tonight in just about every category. Grandison, Johnson, Gamble, Pinckney, and Klein are out there, so we will see the bench in force here. Inside to DJ, trying to post up Paxson. Dennis Wild with the turnaround. It'll be Chicago ball.
3 seconds on the 24-second clock. He had to get that one up.
Davis pops out, looks inside for Purdue. Haley comes to the ball. Here's Purdue cutting through. Took a little hop step and short with the jumper.
He's going to eat a lot of jump shots, I'm telling you, before his career's over.
Gamble cut off down low. Kevin goes down hard, but gets back up and he'll go to the line. Will Purdue the foul. Brian Shaw, Robert Parish talking it over as Kevin Gamble steps to the free throw line looking for his first point. He'll make that a correction. He got 2 points in the second quarter. It's 30 for the lead. Here's Purdue again. Will struggling. Grandison the quick push up to Gamble. Kevin a little move. It's picked off. Doesn't get it back. Yes, he does. Lays it off for Pinckney and it got two.
A little sloppy. As Gamble got a little confused by the defense, but ended up with the ball nonetheless.
Pinckney with 8 points on the night. His high as a Celtic is 11. He's got a lot of time left. He's going to spend some time on the floor in this fourth quarter. Bulls can't get a shot off. Down to 2 seconds on the shot clock when that foul came on the baseline. Pinckney picks it up to second.
A little last second instruction by Dennis Johnson that time about getting the elbow in out. Whoa, nice pass.
Yep, Paxson kind of lost DJ on that one. First bucket for Paxson tonight. Pinckney wants to work on Haley. Bounce pass in a crowd. It's picked off by Hodges.
Was not there.
It looked like it was. Hodges, that wasn't there either. Davis finds a way. 8 for Davis, who started in place of Michael Jordan. It's about 25 more. Get the average.
Come close. The offense of the Bulls nowhere near what the potential would indicate.
DJ had to throw it up again. It's hard to.
Even without Michael Jordan, and the defense could not be as lax as it is and has been all evening for the Bulls without Michael Jordan. This has not been one of their better games. Not competitive at all.
No, it didn't come to play. Would appear. Would you agree?
Yep.
Hodges plants himself. Davis, strong rebound, takes it away from Grandison. Davis wants to go back up. Tries to get it, but it's taken down by Pinckney on the other side, and reach-in fouls going against either Purdue or Davis.
Good, strong rebound that time by Ed Pinckney. He was in traffic when he came down with that one. Here you're going to see Klein go for the block, and Pinckney right in traffic now trying to find an outlet man. Can't do it as, boy, they just surrounded him.
Pinckney outside. Grandison trying to keep it alive, picked off the floor by Paxson. 95-67 with 8:45 to go in the game. Haley, and a foul's called on Pinckney on the baseline, his third.
often wonder why on the right side of the court they continue to show people a baseline. Most ball handlers are righty, and they're moving to their strength. That time Pinckney picked up the foul, never cut off the baseline.
In other words, force him left and into the
Forced him back into the middle to help. Into their left hand, too.
Gamble, no room, can't get it up, but Klein is there for the loose ball. Pinckney misses the follow. And Gamble's called for a foul in the backcourt on Haley, first on Kevin.
We're getting a nice long look at Kevin Gamble. And very physical. Not quite sure of his ball handling skills at the guard spot.
Paxson pulls up, hits a three. 5 for John Paxson, 23-point Celtic lead.
If there's one difference between John and Jim, it's the three-point shot. That's about it. Jim is probably a little taller, too.
Pinckney fighting Haley inside, tries to power it up and got the foul. Haley, to his credit, didn't back off at all. First on Jack Haley, who's a rookie free agent out of UCLA. 6'10", 240-pounder.
Jack Haley, his first personal foul. Third on the team. Ed Pinckney in the line as
His father wasn't the Tin Man, was he?
They have some similar moves.
Yes.
number 20 is Ryan.
You remember the Tin Man, the Wizard of Oz?
Jack moves a little bit like that. He does.
We all the Lollipop Kids and all of that stuff. We're off to see the Wizard. No, huh?
Yeah, no, I do. I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. Good or bad jokes, I'm with you all the way.
Thanks.
25-point Celtic lead. Purdue dumping it low to Haley. They worked on that in practice alone a lot.
I'm going to tell you, Will went up to the full extent of his leaping ability, all 2 inches, and almost had that one blocked. That's why it passed off.
Pinckney pumps his way in. Good follow by Joe Klein.
I tell you, Will Purdue is getting molested down there by Joe Klein. Joe Klein is kind of getting wherever he wants to get to.
Here's Purdue.
And Klein moved him out about 4 steps.
Ooh, nice shot off the glass. First bucket for Will. Everybody who came tonight for Chicago has scored. And they're still getting killed. Alley-oop to Pinckney won't go down. And it goes out off Ronnie Grandison. It'll be Chicago ball. And we're going to get a timeout. 6:42 to go in the game. 99-76 Boston.
Both neighbors just bought garage door.
The bet. NBA Authentics are available at sporting goods stores everywhere, or for gift catalogs and $1 to this address.
You'll have a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to see the Celtics play an away playoff game. By voting, you'll also have a chance to win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Celtic game right here at the Boston Garden. Now, to vote, you just pick up your official 6-star entry ballot at any participating Texaco station throughout New England. Select the Celtic reserve that has contributed the most to this year's team. Tom will enlarge on that in a minute. And send your ballot to Sports Channel. That's all there is to it. So vote today, because Sports Channel and Texaco want to make you a star. As we run through the NBA tonight, Washington's still winning their game.
Any guy who has been to the bench for reasons other than an injury, and that would include Dennis Johnson, and I think Kevin started all the games, and I think Robert started all the games. But Dennis has been on the bench and missed a few ball games, so. But if you have started the game and the only reason you have not been starting is because of an injury, that makes you a starter. Everybody else is fair game, including Reggie Lewis.
Okay. Brian Shaw.
Grandison, of course.
Good. That opens it up. I like that. Pinckney cutting through is fouled by Haley.
Dougie Collins is just looking at people here saying, hey, I want some beef in there. And I think that's what they missed with Charles Oakley. Grant's a good player, but not nearly as beefy and as commanding a figure as Charles Oakley was for.
Pinckney wants to go on Haley again. Takes the ball away. Gamble, nice job on the offensive board. Trying to find Klein, does, but Joe couldn't handle it.
Klein looks like Popeye.
Like Popeye? Grandison, nice play as they tried to go over the top to Davis. Joe's a solid kid. I mean, you see Joe beside Will Perdue, and Will looks rather soft by comparison. Rebound there, Davis. Perdue a screen outside. Paxson pulls up and hits.
Looks behind a pick, and he can drill it.
Under 20 for the first time in quite a while. 19-point Celtic lead. Brian Shaw, little boom, won't go down. Rebound tipped around. And Davis comes out with it to Hodges. Up ahead, Paxson again.
Now, what is this game in the context of an entire season? Not much, I'll tell you. But, now, Chicago has not really been competitive all evening long. And sometimes when you're playing a team like this, you have a tendency to let down and play to the level of the team that you're playing. The Celtics tonight have really looked pretty sharp against a team that's really not getting the job done. And sometimes that's more a force of willpower than anything else. They didn't get sloppy. They executed very nicely. Didn't go for the easy shot. Moved the ball around, and the significant thing in the ball game was that they handled the trap, the 1-3-1 trap defense fairly effectively.
Nice play by Hodges there after Paxson made the steal. Yeah, I would think Jim would be pretty happy with his effort tonight. Ryan's pushed it up hard all night long. Pinckney and Klein have 10 points apiece off the bench. Reggie Lewis is going to come back in so that the Celtics get a little more offense with 4:20 to go. The lead at 17 now. Going to take a lot of threes, though, to get Chicago back in this game. Paxson gets another 2. The Celtics will use a timeout just to stem the tide here a bit. Willis Reed will be there with his club. They still think they have a shot at the Celtics for that final playoff spot, and we'll have it for you Monday night.
Now let's see if they handle this trap defense. Last game that I saw them against this team, and there's a man wide open, and he never turned to look to the weak side as McHale was just sitting there waiting for a layup. 3 seconds, and
Klein again in the offensive board, but he's stripped by Paxson. Paxson, a quick push, left-handed, no. Klein and Lewis combine, and Klein's got another rebound. Joe's done a good job. 3:30 now to go in the game, and Shaw looks, finds Klein. No, he traveled.
Well, they got the layup, almost.
18 turnovers on the Celtics.
Joe's got to get that dribble down a little bit.
That's right. He was on the floor once. Hodges and Paxson will probably both camp outside that three-point line. Comes back to Paxson. Good roll by Perdue. 4 points for Will Perdue. 13-point game with 3 minutes to go. Inside Joe, back to Shaw. Cut McHale. Jump hook goes down.
Well, they rotated a man through the middle. The defender took the first guy going to the hoop, and then McHale rolled right behind him. That's what ended up becoming a good shot against that 1-3-1 trap defense. The Celtics have been having so much of a problem with.
John Paxson's going to get in this game early. He's 5 for 5 in the fourth quarter. 12-point game with 2:20 to go. O'Brien will shoot it. Rebound Davis. Paxson may want to shoot it again. Paxson does. Rebound McHale. Boy, Haley was calling for the ball underneath. Oh, John. He was incredulous he wasn't getting it.
Oh, again the man was open.
Yeah, Klein this time. Inside to Joe. Blocked, but a foul is called. Purdue will get the foul.
Against the 1-3-1, you've got to get the ball to the middle. You watch right now as Reggie gets there, it gets back into the corner and out to Klein. But that was open about 5 seconds before Klein ended up getting it.
Bulls call it Sunday night's matchup with the Philadelphia Flyers at the Civic Center. So tune in to Sports Channel for all the action beginning live at 7 o'clock. That's the Whalers and the Flyers this Sunday.
You're going to see Paxson just getting right behind the pick, knowing full well he's behind the three-point line, and brother, he can drill him.
Yeah, he can.
A lot of women here tonight.
This 12-point margin right now is not indicative of what this game has been. This is probably the most aggressive the last 7 minutes of this quarter that the Bulls have been all evening long, and a lot of it is because of John Paxson and that 1-3-1 trap defense. You know, when you go into a pressure defense, that really kind of carries over into the offense. Now, that's one of those cliches you hear, but psychologically, as soon as you get aggressive on defense, you start becoming aggressive on offense.
Paxson again.
You want to get a team moving. Start getting them press.
Purdue, no cutter available. Finds Haley, who takes it in, hits off the glass. 4 points for Jack Haley. Again, everyone in the Chicago uniform has scored. Kevin's trying to get rid of it. Hodges to steal, over to Haley, up to Paxson. DJ smartly goes out and gets him, doesn't let him pull up for the three. He hits a two.
You know, in that last trap on Kevin McHale was looking for somebody, but there was nobody open. They all hung around, and nobody came to Kevin, and he held it for an inordinate amount of time.
The Bulls have outscored the Celtics by 20 here in the fourth quarter. Shaw to the hoop. Missed the layup. Rebound, Haley. Hodges inside Haley. Tipped away. Klein picked off Shaw. 3-on-2 break. Reggie on the wing. 22 for Reggie Lewis. Pushes it back up to an 11-point game, and Rodgers is short. Haley gets the rebound, lays it in. 18 seconds to go. Reggie will just run it down if they don't come out and challenge him. And it doesn't look like they're going. The Celtics move to 29-30, one game below 500. Dennis Johnson just heads for the locker room. And the final score here at the Garden, good win for Jim Rodgers, 104-95. Nowhere near as close as that score might indicate.
Express mail from York Post Office has a whole fleet of 727.
95, but in no way is that indicative of the way this game played, as the Celtics led by 29 going into the fourth quarter. And you know, it's been a while since you and I have been able to stand here and say that was just a thorough whipping that the Celtics put on someone, but that was as thorough as we've seen all year.
I'll tell you, I was not impressed whatsoever with Chicago. Michael Jordan can't possibly mean that much to this team, to the morale of this team. They did not execute offensively or defensively. You can understand a little bit on offense because he is such a big part of what they try and do offensively, but defensively, man, they didn't move at all. Now, as far as the Celtics are concerned, they did what you're supposed to do when you're playing a team that really didn't give it all they could really give it. And they executed beautifully until they got to the end of the ball game, and they ran into that 1-3-1 trap.
Yep. But again, I think for the first three quarters, which was important given that they were up 17 after one and 20 plus at the half, they kept pushing the ball up, especially Brian Shaw kept pushing the ball up.
Well, he's a key factor, and if you're going to run the ball, you got to have a good push man. And one of the things that they weren't doing, even when he started a few weeks ago, was the big guys still had that habit of getting the ball to Dennis Johnson, who is not the fastest guy getting it up the court. Tonight, they made a conscious effort to get the ball in Brian Shaw's hands, and that up-tempoed the game automatically. Got a lot of easy baskets, good shooting opportunities for the outside guys and the inside guys.
And for that reason, as well as his defensive play, we're going to make Brian Shaw our Anheuser-Busch player of the game. And again, offensively and defensively, he had a good night.
Well, here he comes. Beautiful move to the hoop. And they backed off him, and they didn't rotate quick enough to him. And as soon as they started moving to him, he went to the basket. And he was very effective tonight. Didn't score a lot of points, but boy, he was active.
Yeah, 8 points, 8 assists, 6 steals, and 5 rebounds. And that, I think, long-term, Tom, from what I've seen this year, that's going to be the type of player Brian Shaw will evolve into being, and that his stat line is always going to be a busy line when you look at it the next day in the box score.
Well, if he's doing his job, his shooting comes second. And the more that he dishes off on the front end of the break, and also people coming up behind the first 3 guys up, when he starts to read the defenses and find the open people, he's not going to score a lot of points unless they start bailing out on him. But he's perfectly capable of taking it strong to the hoop on 3-on-2s and 2-on-1 situations.
Our play of the game involves, again, a defensive play to start it off, and it was Dennis Johnson with that famous little poke check of his.
Yeah, if he had a hockey stick, you could understand it. But here it is, a little poke check, and Pippen said, "Where did it go?" And up comes Dennis Johnson, who now gets it to Brian Shaw, who takes the lone defender out of the play, makes him make a commitment, and there is old Reg. It's a cram.
Reggie had himself a strong night tonight. He had 20 points. Robert Parish had a great night, and maybe one of the most productive nights I've ever seen out of Kevin McHale, as I think he only missed 1 shot all night long. He, too, was up around 19 or 20 points. Our star of the week, we're going to give that to Brian Shaw, too, again, because he is going to be a barometer for the Celtics in terms of up-tempoing games.
Well, you see right here, great play by Reggie Lewis, and just a beautiful strip. And up the ball goes to Dennis Johnson. Look at Klein just barreling out of there. And here is the trailer man, Brian Shaw. Good look by Dennis Johnson, and swish.
One of the things I think that Dennis Johnson has been doing, Tom, you mentioned the fact that Dennis not the quickest of up and down the court at this point in his career, but one of the things I see Dennis looking more and more to do is to catch it and make that pass that maybe goes 25 feet up the court.
I think that very definitely, if you can't dribble the ball fast yourself, you want to try and keep the ball in the middle of the court. And if you do that, you have to dribble it. But if you can pass the ball down the sideline, you can run faster than you can dribble the ball. And that's what Dennis has been doing. He's had his head up, and people have been out on the front end of the break, which is very, very important. Now, Kevin McHale has gotten out on the front a few times. A couple of games, Robert Parish is out on the front, and not just from the top of the defense. A couple of times, Robert Parish in that game we did last week got the rebound and ended up on the front end of the break. That's the great stuff that you can do if you really set your mind to running and make it a habit.
Okay, well, the Celtics must feel pretty good. If they thought they lost it after that game with the Nets the other night, they certainly got it back here this evening. We'll be back with the Nevlin postgame show and a few more thoughts in just a minute. Once again, the final score, Boston by 9, 104-95.
This man is an owner of a major U.S. corporation. And he knows that his company...
The Rack People, providing equipment to the service industry for their van and walk-in needs.
TJ, again.
The Boston Celtics host Atlantic Division rivals, the New Jersey Nets, on Monday night. Join Sports Channel for all the action from the Hartford Civic Center, beginning with a pregame show at 7:15.
Welcome back to the Nevlin postgame show, everyone. 104-95, the final score. The Celtics win it by 9, but led by 30-plus for a good portion of this game and really dominated the Chicago Bulls tonight. We passed out all our awards there at the end of the game and really didn't speak too much to Kevin McHale. And Kevin just had as an efficient game as you could want. 7 of 8 from the floor, 5 of 5 from the line, 19 points with absolutely no wasted effort there.
Well, one of the things that's becoming quite evident since Danny Ainge left his ball club is that, boy, he's going to have a tough second half of the season without Danny, because they are really throwing people at him and not really worrying about it. And the only way really for him to score is to be very, very efficient like he was tonight, or also get up there on that fast break on the front end or the fourth man up so that he can start to power the ball through or before the defense, which means he's really got to run a lot harder than he is right now. Now, running for Kevin McHale is not an easy thing. He is not quick-footed, and it's really like, it reminds me of an engine in the wheelhouse, you know, that just coming out of the blockhouse where the wheels start to spin. It takes a lot of effort by Kevin to really get out on that fast break.
All right, let's take a look at a couple of replays of Kevin here. And again, he has, as Tom pointed out during the game, adjusted perhaps better than anyone to double teams.
Well, if they get the ball up quickly, he can get good position. Now, he got good position tonight because Grant is not a muscle guy. But now you watch the double team, and he is probably the best in the entire league, and he is the best in the entire league of splitting double teams and getting a good shot off. Excellent, but he's going to see more of those and quicker, the quicker doubles.
All right, that was Sam Vincent that time. Last time, this time, it's a triple team he finds himself in.
Well, they got one guy, the man who made the pass. They're not afraid of his outside shooting. They're not afraid of Pippen's man shooting. And as a triple team, he finds his way into the paint before Pippen got there. But that's the type of stuff Kevin is going to be seeing, and he better get on the front end of the break because his total's liable to go down.
Okay, let's take a look at some numbers from the game tonight. And again, the Celtic numbers are hurt a little bit by the fourth quarter as they shoot 53% for the game, but that was only after a horrid fourth quarter. Boston really was up around 60 or 70% throughout most of the game. They got 80 shots made, 42 of them. And the rebounds, an advantage to Chicago, 41-35 on the boards. That surprise you at all?
You know, what really surprises me in that all our statistics is that Chicago only took 6 free throws, which means they weren't going to the hoop an awful lot because that's not a habit with them.
Lewis with 22, McHale 19, and Parish 19. Just very solid effort. Joe Klein, his best offensive effort as a Celtic with 11. Eddie Pinckney off the bench with 10 on the other side. A lot of people there between 11 and 16. Pippen up on the top and Grant down the bottom there. And we'll be back with some final words here from the Garden in just a minute. Just a second here as we try to update you on that Washington-Atlanta score. But Boston now 29-30. Is that 500 mark a psychological thing with this club now to get over it?
I don't think so. You know, they would have been over it, but they had a tough road trip out on the West Coast. That seems to be a real problem for the lesser lights in the Eastern Conference, going out to the West Coast, just surviving, playing out there a significant number of ball games. Pretty competitive with some of those teams who are struggling to really overtake the Lakers, who, in my opinion, could be had. And I think right now, with a little more home cooking, they'll be over the 500 mark.
Okay, they got a couple of games coming up. We'll tell you about those in a minute. First, a look at the out-of-town scores from around the NBA tonight. And again, late in the fourth quarter, Washington's hanging on. They're up by 7 over the Atlanta Hawks, so they can keep pace with the Celtics with a win. Denver, who will be here Sunday, a 111-97 winner, or at least looks like they're going to be a winner over Charlotte. That game's still in the fourth. Miami has no hope against the Lakers, and Detroit is up big right now, 106-88 on Seattle. Portland and Dallas having a pretty good game at the half. Houston and Utah are just getting underway. So again, the Celtics, with a week of home cooking, as Tom pointed out, a chance to get some practices, and then 2 games in 2 days. They'll play Denver here at the Boston Garden at about noontime on Sunday. That game on national television. Then we'll be with you Monday night from New Jersey. And again, if the Celtics couldn't send the message last Saturday night, I would think they would like to send it from the Hartford Civic Center to the New Jersey Nets next Monday night.
I think it's very important. You know, we really didn't mention an awful lot of Jim Paxson not being available, and he's going to be a key player. This Chicago team was not competitive tonight, but New Jersey's going to be, and certainly Denver will be at the guard position.
Okay, so that'll do it for the Nevlin postgame show here at the Boston Garden. 104-95, the final score for our stat man, Dick Life, Kurt Jacobson, our producer, Steve Reagan, our director, and my partner, Tom Heinz, and I'm Mike Gorman. Good night from the Garden. See you Monday night from Hartford.